Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of Effortless. I am today's host, Piddle, and with me is Spiegel.
This is actually an old episode of Effortless. You listened to this last week.
Is it really?
We're basically,
man.
well,
you know
look,
what? That's
I mean,
going to be fun because I want to talk about the same things we talked about last week.
I was going to say we're basically going to cover the same stuff we talked about last week. So if you like fat people and people who swim a lot, this is the show for you.
The good news is if you are on a tight schedule today, we are hoping to be shorter.
We're always hoping to be shorter, but, we'll see. Piddle said 40 to 45 minutes. I'm like, do it. I'm tired. I've had a great day off of work. I'm so excited right now because I just watched one of the best basketball games I've ever seen. This is Sunday, June 7th. You only saw the last play, but I watched from the middle of the second quarter the Cleveland Cavaliers take down the Golden State Warriors 95-93. And I know people don't want us to do a lot of sports talk, but I mentioned it on Twitter, and one guy retweeted it. So I'm like, I think his name is King Curdy. Shout out to you, King Curdy.
We have to do it.
We are doing some sports talk, so deal with it. If you don't like it, skip to 6 minutes in.
So
do people like sports? I don't know. Leave us a comment. Do you like the sports talk?
You have to like sports talk, right?
I love it. I love this.
I listen to it every day. I will actually say my biggest issue with sports talk nowadays is it's not so much about the games and the action, and I believe we talked about this before. It's more about these other social media stories that I'm just like, you know what? This is social issues. This isn't sports talk.
So are we going to start off with a social issue, or are we going to do the sports? Because we have both, actually.
I know. Oh, man. Oh, dear.
Let's get the social thing out of the way.
Yes. Before, and then I'll look like a much better hypocrite.
Yeah, so we do want to know your opinions on this particular topic, because this is one that even non-sports fans can get into, in my opinion. So go ahead and introduce this one.
So if you have been paying any attention lately, Steph Curry has been bringing his daughter, Riley Curry, to all of his press conferences. And
she's 2 years old. She's very cute, adorable, all this.
Oh, yeah, she's adorable. She's absolutely adorable.
Yeah, she does a little dance when her daddy scores or something. I don't know.
But a lot of members of the media are not happy about that.
And the reason for this is, I like how we're kind of tag teaming this, this story. The reason is because she tends to make a lot of noise when she's up there on the podium when her father is trying to answer legitimate questions from the media. So there's basically two sides to the argument. Some people are in favor of him being allowed to bring Riley up onto the podium
because it's cute.
Because it's cute, and it makes an otherwise fairly dull press conference more interesting.
I know.
But
the other people sick of press conferences always being the same?
I mean, press conferences suck. I don't think athletes should have to do them. But at the same time, the other side of the argument, which is the side that I will agree with, is the side that says this is a professional environment. Don't think kids should be allowed unless it's bring your daughter to work day. I don't know. I mean, you're up there, you're in a suit, and you're answering questions from professional journalists, and here you have this kid running around making all this noise. And this may make me unpopular. This is a very unpopular opinion, but I think it's the right one.
I am going to disagree with you there.
All right. We finally have our first disagreement.
I know. This is because Steph Curry is marketing himself right now. And the team gets extra exposure by him having his daughter there. Because, people are going to tune in. People want to pay more attention. They're more interested in the person Steph Curry, and therefore they're going to be more interested in the game.
So, but my point is it's not a matter of interest. I mean, people that are interested in this story are not going to go and watch an NBA game because they like the daughter of one of the best players in the game right now.
They might be more inclined, casual basketball fans might be more inclined to watch just because they think it's sort of a cool thing that Steph Curry, this is such a cool thing for a dad to do because his daughter gets to take part in what he does in his basketball career. And
maybe I'm crazy, but that's the same reason I don't like or care about the Olympics, because it's all about the people and the storylines, and it's I just want to watch some great players play basketball, and I don't ultimately I don't really care for all the extra stuff. It's interesting, like the stories of the games are interesting, but as for the people themselves, I'm not really interested.
This is what we're going to get into later. Myself, personally, I'm not interested. But when it comes to everything else, I love it.
It's because you're a people person.
I don't understand it.
So let's talk about the actual games themselves. I mean, I don't know if people actually watch them or whatever. And I know you didn't watch Game 2. Did you watch Game 1?
I did not watch Game 1. I've been a bad basketball fan lately.
Both games were incredible, and this series has been so much more interesting than I thought it was going to be. What was your original prediction? I assume you made a prediction.
I did have a prediction, obviously before Kyrie went down, and I thought that the Cavs were going to win it. I thought that with Kyrie and LeBron, they had enough youth.
And Matthew Dellavedova.
Yeah, and Dellavedova and Shumpert and
amazing Matthew Dellavedova.
Yeah, J.R. Smith. I felt like LeBron had exhibited enough leadership to get the young guys on board, especially guys like J.R. Smith, who's like I feel like he's more like an X factor.
Yeah,
I look at him like Dennis Rodman when Dennis Rodman came to the Bulls.
Wow,
people just didn't want Dennis Rodman, and Dennis Rodman then was on a team with a leader, and suddenly he became this fierce presence on the floor. He
stopped being a basket case, at least for a few years.
He was still a basket case. There were plenty of times where he got like ejected from games for being ridiculous.
No pun intended, by the way, with the basket thing.
But
wow, that was totally unintentional. Okay.
Wow. Oh man.
So how many games did you ultimately predict them winning in?
I predicted the Cavs to win in 7 games.
Wow, that is a bold prediction. Like really, I'm so the opposite end of the spectrum because I predicted that the Warriors would win in 4 games, and obviously I could not have been more wrong because, in my opinion, the Cavaliers should have won both of these games. They obviously did win Game 2, but they should have won Game 1. They were literally like one bad, dumb, stupid David Blatt call away from winning Game 1. So yeah, but the series has turned out to be fascinating, and we've already talked about basketball for too long. People have already turned this off. So I told them to skip to like 6 minutes in. We're running a little long on that, but I don't care. We're going to talk about games now, I think.
Nope.
Actual real games that people care about.
I want to talk a little bit more about sports, don't you?
All right, fine. Go.
We love them.
I love it.
Last thing. So I wanted to throw this out there. Have you listened to any sports radio lately or watched any sports TV shows?
My favorite guy is Colin Cowherd on ESPN Radio. He's so fantastic. I agree with like pretty much 75 to 80% of the stuff he says.
So I'm awake really early every morning, so I listen to Mike and Mike every morning.
You hear Mike and Mike? They're good too.
Yeah. And I was just thinking about how I remember when sports talk, or pretty much sports shows in general, they always talked about the games. They would just like run through every game that happened, what went well, what went off in each game, and that was it. And I loved it because it was like, oh yeah, there was this game and so scored this many points and had this many rebounds, and this guy in this football game threw whatever touchdowns, and I liked that. I liked that aspect of sports. I remember when ESPN would like lead off, or ESPN Sports Center was like every game that happened last night or the day before.
Yeah. Here they are. Baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer.
Yeah,
whatever.
Every sport, whether it was the team you're interested in or not. And now I feel like it's like, this is what happened real quick, and hey, now let's talk about this others.
Let's talk about Amari Stoudemire bathing in red wine.
Yeah.
I watched that feature for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, what is going on? Why? Then I went and I played some stupid video game.
And we talk about Steph Curry's daughter more than anything else. I turn on the radio, and I really don't want to get into this issue, so
we don't have a lot of time.
I know.
If we were limiting this to 40 minutes, we're already a quarter of the way into this show.
Oh dear. I'm gonna leave it real brief, but lately the big issue or the big story has been Bruce Jenner becoming Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh yeah, and let's not touch this topic. Actually,
I'm not gonna say my opinion either way. All I'm gonna say is I just feel like it's not sports related, and when I tune into something That's all I want. When they talk about like O.J. Simpson again, and oh no, he's got into legal trouble again. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a sports issue at that point. It becomes a personal issue. And like I said, some people love that. That's why people watch the Olympics, because it's all about the people. And, it's for some people, not for me. Obviously not for you either for most things.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly I just prefer to leave that stuff alone because, A, it's a firestorm if you say the wrong word. Like, I just had to edit something out because I made a mistake, and I don't want to get destroyed for it. So anyway, let's move on because now I'm kind of uncomfortable. So let's talk about something that makes me even more uncomfortable, which is losing in Splatoon makes me super uncomfortable, and I get really mad because I hate losing, and I'm so ultra competitive with that game, man. Like, I usually manage to be one of the best players. And I'm just so addicted to it. I don't know how I'm ever going to get to any other game on our 52-52. We're moving into week 9 now. I don't remember how many games I've beaten, but Splatoon is going to occupy my console for a while.
I think I'm done with 7, but some of my choices, actually pretty much all of my choices, have been really short.
So basically, we actually haven't done a show since Splatoon came out. Maybe I played for like a day last time we did a show, but it's so good. It is so good. You have to get your gamepad fixed. I have to play this game with you. It's so much fun. I've not had more fun on my Wii U since I got it. And it's not my favorite game on Wii U because Bayonetta and Bayonetta's better. And Mario Kart 8 is better, but Splatoon is the most pure fun I've had on the system. Period. Maybe ever, which is quite a statement because NBA Jam is amazing.
So you're saying like Mario Kart 8 is a better game?
Yeah, it's a better game because it's more well-rounded. Yes, that's allowed, right?
I guess. But what are you how are you gonna feel when the free DLC comes out?
Well,
and you get the full game.
I've already talked a lot about how I'm not in favor of free DLC in terms of like, oh, the game's not complete, but here's some stuff later. Like, I've already talked about that, but
yeah. But
that being said, it's gonna blast the game wide open, and I'm gonna have to go back to it, honestly.
All right.
So what have you? I mean, I played something else too, but I don't really want to talk about it because I haven't played it enough to form an opinion.
You're not gonna like my one game.
Okay.
Because, well, I've not had much time. So all I did was I finished up the rest of the original Super Mario Brothers.
You're so lame. That's all?
I know. That's my life right now.
Well, I know you're very busy, and you said you wouldn't have a lot of time for gaming over the next couple months.
Yes.
But that,
So I'm trying to get something in, but I'm keeping it short.
Yeah, we're both experiencing difficulties right now for different reasons, but oh well. Such is life. You watch the NBA Finals, you play some games, you work, you take care of your personal business, you wait in line for Amiibo, you get mugged by a guy in a wheelchair. It's all just, it's life, Well, that didn't actually happen, that last part, but it almost did.
Yeah. Should have happened. Wait, what?
Well, so he was threatening us, right? He had like this big metal pipe, and he said he was going to go home and get his gun. So he rolled home, I guess, and he never came back.
Oh dear.
Well, I thought he was homeless, so I don't know. Maybe he had a home. Maybe he was just a weirdo that was out at 2 a.m. threatening just regular people waiting in line for a Jigglypuff. But,
this is what it's come down to.
For everyone's reference who's listening to this show, you did not miss a story last week. I've never talked about this. I'm just presenting it out of context for your amusement.
Here's the question: when will we get November trampling stories, like the Black Friday trampling stories? But
the day they release Amiibo on Black Friday.
No. But in the middle of August when a new Amiibo comes out.
I really don't think it's going to be as common anymore. I feel like Nintendo has almost sort of fixed the system a little bit. I feel like they know they need to produce more, and this wave was in more supply than the last one. There were certain ones that were impossible to get, like Robin and Lucina, but there's Silver Marios everywhere. There were a good number of Pac-Mans and Wario's. There were no Nesses, but there were plenty of Jigglypuffs. So I feel like for the most part, people are kind of starting to get most of what they want, and I don't think there's going to be tramplings for the super rare ones, just because not everybody is as crazy as me.
So
that being said, I will trample you.
I really want to know what other game you're playing right now.
So it's Fantasy Life.
Fantasy Life.
For 3DS. I picked it up on a whim because Zyber really likes it, and he's like, I'm going to pour 50 more hours into it if I start playing it again. I'm like, that's the number one thing I need right now. Another game I'm going to play for 150 hours. But that being said,
That's all right.
It's a 3DS game, and I work a lot. So when I'm on the road and I'm on my breaks and stuff, I like to play. Not when I don't play when I'm on the road, but when I'm just waiting for my shift to start, I'll bring up Fantasy Life, play for a little bit, and it's a pretty good game to play in short bursts because you just end up killing a few monsters and then getting back to it. And incidentally, they announced that Fantasy Life 2 is going to be mobile only, and I think it's a totally appropriate thing actually, because the way that you play the game is very akin to a mobile style game. And I don't want to say it's my first experience with a mobile style game because it's not, but it's my first one that I've really played extensively, and I sort of am starting to see the appeal of mobile games to people who are always busy, because that's exactly what this is, just with a lot more depth.
More depth.
But
well, that's usually what mobile games lack, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's a mobile game with depth, basically. And that's pretty much as much of an impression as I'm allowing myself to give right now, just because I haven't played enough to really give my impressions. So
I'm a little curious, but I'll leave it.
Well, I mean, go ask away. I can try to answer your questions.
I'm just curious, like, you say it's a mobile game. To me, that means, like, pressing one, maybe two buttons.
Well, no, I mean, it's not like that. It's like, it's very simplistic in its design. It's like, okay, you get to pick one of these, I think it's 12 lives, and you can go out and you train yourself to be a master at that life. And then once you become a master, you can switch lives. But all the training really entails is like going to places and doing little small quests and bringing the results back to your master.
But is it really mobile in like the sense of you can do something for like a minute and then?
Yes, because the quest is like, go here, kill one thing.
Oh,
like one little monster, and you'll get like stars for it, which level up your character. It's not mobile in the fact that like there's no paywalls for anything. But I imagine that Fantasy Life 2 will absolutely have paywalled items, because that would be a smart business decision. So I can see people who love mobile games really getting into this. It's not entirely my cup of tea, but it's entertaining enough to keep me entertained, and that's sort of what mobile games are. So I just hope I don't get tired of it before I master all the 12 lives, which is going to take forever.
Well, I've read a little bit about it, but not much. That was a better look into it for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth looking at if you like mobile games. If you don't, you probably take it or leave it. I just wanted to give it a shot because I'd heard good things, and Zyber likes it, and just, trying something a little different. It's kind of like Animal Crossing, but with combat.
So I can't remember. Did I talk about the original Super Mario Brothers a bit last week?
I don't think you did. Because I don't know what there is. I don't know if there is to say, but go ahead.
Plenty. I mean, when I played through it, I didn't do the usual go to level 1, 2, warp to 4, go to 4, 2, warp to 8. I chose to play through the entire game. So I made sure I did every level.
That is a hard game. I don't care what people say, and I don't care how people.
And that's what I want to say.
It's hard. Yeah.
It is hard. It doesn't dish out a lot of coins or 1-ups. I mean, I actually, first time I played it, I couldn't make it all the way through. And it's
wow.
And I figured like it was going to be a breeze, just an absolute breeze, but it's hard. And yeah, like I said, you don't get very many lives, like modern Mario games.
I'm assuming you didn't do the Koopa staircase trick.
No,
which I actually still haven't figured out how to do.
I have never done the Koopa staircase trick, and I don't wish to now. So, yep, I didn't do that. I believe it's level World 3-1, or maybe it's 5-1.
I think it's 3-1 with the staircase trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 3-1. But
3-1.
Yeah, I might be wrong. Someone tell me that I'm wrong.
Pretty sure it is. It's 3-1 towards the end, and yeah, it's really hard, and it was different. It handles moment. Like, I'm so used to modern Mario where like you jump and you like sort of screw up on your trajectory and you can fix it really quick.
Yeah, you can't do that in the original.
You can,
which is why it's so hard.
Yeah, it makes it so much harder. And I mean, there are some ways where I have to say I was pretty impressed with how it handles teaching you new obstacles. It doesn't throw too much at you too quick. It sort of gradually progresses on it like modern Mario does. It's just a lot harder.
So since you finished it, you want to rate it out of 5?
Oh, that's...
You're struggling. I can hear it. Because you rate based on how good the game actually is, not how much you liked it, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's really good. I don't want to like dock it just because it's old or short by modern
Or not
standards.
as good as Mario 3 or Mario World or Mario Galaxy or Mario Sunshine or Mario 64.
Yeah. I think I would have to, like, honestly though, I'd have to give it like a 3 out of 5. It's still really good. It's still definitely something you have to play.
Might you call it a bucket list game?
No. I wouldn't actually.
So you don't think that that's a necessary game for every gamer to play?
No.
Even though it's like the original game. Does that, I mean, it's not the original game, but it's like, it's sort of the game that, I mean,
It revolutionized.
How would you define that game's legacy today? Like, do you think that game is still appreciated in the industry?
No, because the industry's moved so far away from platformers.
But I mean in terms of what it did for gaming at that time.
It saved it.
I mean, think about it. There wasn't really platformers before that. I mean, there was Super Pitfall.
Yeah.
But nobody cared about that.
Well,
really.
it was the first side-scrolling one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. I feel really dumb. Like someone's totally gonna put me in my place and say like, no, it was
I know.
not the only
I feel like
platformer.
that's
Yeah.
going to happen too.
Oh well.
I feel like there
su-
might have been
such is
something in the
this show.
arcade, but maybe it might have been just the first console game that did side-scrolling. And I understand it did it through added chip in the cartridge, which was one of the cool things about the original Nintendo, is that they could put additional computing chips in the cartridges, and a lot of Super Nintendo games did that too.
Do you mean like to push the hardware further, or is that what that is, or is it?
No,
because
it was
the Nintendo hardware was definitely capable of side scrolling.
It was to do things that the hardware couldn't. I'm pretty sure the original, most games could not. That it was a common feature where you'd go to the edge of the screen and then it would move to a
Go
new
to the
screen.
next one.
Yeah,
Like
move
The
to a
Legend
new
of Zelda.
Yes.
Or like Metroid was definitely a side scroller in the style of Mario Brothers in that capacity.
Yeah.
But even that had like you'd have a room and the room would be over and you'd have to go through the door. And then load the next room.
I believe all the side scrolling that we were accustomed to was like an added feature of the cartridge though. Sort of like the 3D in Star Fox.
That's really interesting. I did not know that. Little piece of gaming trivia for you there.
Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but
Or maybe it's wrong trivia. Who knows?
I'm almost certain there is, and I'm pretty sure there are other games that use that like similar tricks or had extra hardware on the cartridge to do other things. The only thing is like the games generally tended to be a little bit more expensive because of that.
Yeah, it's interesting to me to this is well, it's kind of related, but it's interesting to think about the fact that you'd buy an NES game for $50. Like you spend $50 today on like, well, I'd say a regular game, but now games are like 60. But more recently, you'd still be spending $50 on a game. It's like the value did not go up at all. It's weird. It's just weird how technology works that way.
Yeah, it really is.
And how Nintendo 64 games were like $70, and here you had PS1 games selling for $30. And we discussed why PS1 won the console war.
Oh yeah.
Go watch that video if you haven't seen it already. It's an excellent episode of Effortless.
All right, so moving on. I think that's enough about our 52 of 52.
That's going to sound like a really bad edit. That was not an edit. That was natural.
Yes, absolutely. Ridiculous E3 rumors.
Okay, so obviously E3 is coming up. By the time we record next week's episode, E3 will be going.
Yes.
Piddle and I are gonna try to do a Microsoft Direct reaction, or Microsoft press conference reaction with some other people. I don't know if it's gonna work out with you because of your situation in the morning, but who knows?
It might.
We'll try to do our best. So obviously E3 is coming up, and there's a lot of ridiculous things that always swirl around, particularly one company that we love, and this year is of course no exception.
No exception. It's all the time. all the
How do
time.
rumors get started? I don't understand this. People are always like, "Oh, my uncle works for Nintendo, and this is an actual press
the
conference
classic.
briefing." And
My
it's
uncle.
it's like this is always a thing, and how people still, I don't know if they buy it, but people still give it credence and they pay attention to it just because they want things to be true, I guess.
Yes.
And I certainly can't blame them for that.
I do have a my uncle story.
Yeah, you do?
Well, you know. You know
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
That's a
Sorry,
really
listeners.
good uncle story. Yeah, you're never going to hear it.
Nope.
But trust me, it's good.
So one rumor is that I have heard regarding this particular company is the VR Tool Boy, the successor
Let's say
to
say that again. Let that sink in.
the VR Tool Boy. I can't even pronounce it. It's so
It's
weird.
like the dumbest name I've ever heard in my life.
Isn't that like the worst rumor you could have ever heard?
Why would you recall that? Like, I understand that they like to joke about it. Like in their E3 announcement video, they had Reggie playing the Virtual Boy, and he's like, "These games are great," and it was all funny. We all had a laugh,
And that's why people are saying like, "Ooh, maybe they're teasing something more. Maybe they're gonna do something." I don't know. What would you think? If it's a VR Tool Boy, a portable VR system?
It's so silly. They're not announcing another system. They already have NX in the works. That's not what NX is, and even if it was, they're not talking about it at this E3. This rumor is absurd. I'm giving it the Spiegel stamp of absurdity. And that is a thing from now on, so deal with it.
It needs to be done. But
Boom. You have been stamped with the Spiegel stamp of absurdity.
come on, don't you want a VR Tool Boy?
Oh, absolutely. I want one, but it's so stupid. It's not going to happen.
I just don't think it fits with their, I don't know, business model.
No, it doesn't at all. I don't view Nintendo as this company that is going to take the next
Or does it?
the first real step into virtual reality.
Actually, does it because Nintendo wants the casual fan. So the VR Tool Boy, they can give you interactive. Now you can just put on your VR Tool Boy and you can do your VR Tool fit.
I love how you keep saying VR tool like it's a thing. They're not going to get the casual fan because I said this the other week. You can't demonstrate it. You're not going to be able to grab people with this because no one will be able to know what it actually is like until they try it. And it's so hard to get people to try something.
This is true.
And I will stand by this forever. If this happens, which it won't, it would be pretty much the dumbest thing they could do at this point. Spiegel
Would that be the
stamp
kiss of death?
absurdity. Yes, it would. Yeah, I will come out and say this right now. This will be the end of Nintendo if they jump into virtual reality. Nintendo, doomed since 1889. I don't care. This is it.
Perfect. All right, you have another rumor for us, Spiegel?
I don't have another rumor, but I actually this is related. I came upon this awesome website that some wonderful person created. The address is tane.us/Nintendo, and it is a website that if you look on the screen right now, there it is.
Yes.
It is a website that if you go on, it will generate. So let me back up a bit. If you've seen rumors in the past for Nintendo, they have it's always some guy who just like prints out this fancy looking table of like games Nintendo's going to announce at E3. Be like, this is their sheet for that they used to direct the Nintendo Direct, and it's always nothing on them are ever real. But this website came up with a way.
Spiegel, it has the watermark.
Oh, the watermark. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, you can't even find that on a simple Google search at all. So this website came up with a way for you to generate your own Nintendo fake leak. And it's really great. There's some really funny ones. I don't have any examples in front of me right now, but I'm loading one up. Okay, here's the first one. Metroid Fuzzy for 3DS. That sounds great, doesn't it? Metroid Fuzzy.
Metroid Fuzzy.
You load one up.
How about
for
this
you too,
one?
and,
Metroid Miserable.
Yeah, you'd be miserable. That's the sequel to Metroid Other M. Metroid Aluminum HD. These are all Metroid games. Let's see. That's for Wii U. Rock Climbing 2 for Wii U. Was there a Rock Climbing 1? Star Fox Goodbye.
They always have the NX reveal on there, which I like.
Yeah. Metroid Controversial.
The Super Mario Collection. What about that?
What would that even be? What would a Super Mario collection be?
I don't know. There's
It'd be Mario 1, 2, and 3, and then World, and then maybe Land. Land was really good. Land is underrated.
You have the Halo Master Chief collection. Now we have the Nathan Drake collection that's supposedly coming out.
Yeah, Nintendo needs one for Mario.
So, what would it be called?
What
like
if
Mario
the
Mario and Luigi collection?
I think it'd be the Mario Bros collection. I don't think as a rumor, or not a rumor, as a fake like prediction, that's actually one of the more realistic like crazy predictions I've heard. That's not bad actually. That's weird. We may have just got something real from this thing.
Impossible.
Vacuum Japanese for 3DS.
I'm not the biggest fan of the subtitles for the Zelda games. That's all.
Yeah, they're not that funny. I've got the Legend of Zelda Windshield of Cod. I don't know what that would be.
Yeah, Cemetery of Corn.
Margaret
HD.
Hospital. Let's see. Margaret Hospital U for 3DS. Wee Pumpkin U.
Wee Pumpkin U.
It's like they just took Wee blank U and they just like put a word in.
We Witness You.
Mario Sprint Running Plus. I don't think Mario would ever be in a running game. Well, no, that's not true because he was in Mario and Sonic, which I think they're probably going to go over that a little bit, huh? Because they just announced the new one.
Yeah, they did.
Did you watch my solo reaction video?
I have not.
It's pretty good. I think I did a good job.
One of the favorite ones that you liked was We Train You.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good name. We Train You. It'd be like We Fit You, but for like super hardcore people.
With Sean T.
Who?
Anybody who has done Insanity or T25 will know that name.
Is that kind of like the P90X thing with that guy who?
It's a different type of thing. Same company, but different guy, and yeah, it's intense, and We Train You.
So yeah, everyone who likes this idea of just creating their own fake Nintendo thing, go ahead and go to the website, post your own hilarious names in the comments, or come up with your own if you want. I don't care.
Or share your own ridiculous E3 rumors.
Yeah, if you know of any that are funny and bad, that'd be great. I don't know what else has been. Let's talk about crazy rumors from the past. Do you remember any?
Crazy rumors from the past.
Yeah, that didn't really happen.
Oh man.
I'm sort of thinking about the Wii Vitality sensor and how that like was kind of a thing, and then it was like rumored to be at the next one, and it just never was, and it just went away forever. Yeah. Then it just kind of fizzled away into nothingness. That's not a very interesting one, but it was one of the amazing things to come out of that press conference with Ravi Drums and was that the one with the snowboarding game too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrible. How often were there Nintendo HD system rumors? After the Wii came out.
I don't know, because I mean a lot of them had some credence. Are you talking about like an HD Wii?
Yeah.
That actually could run HD games?
Yeah.
I never really paid that much attention to it before that, to be honest with you. So when they announced Wii U, I was like, oh, they're doing an HD system, and people have been like, oh, well, they've been wanting to do this for years.
If you want a ridiculous rumor, I got one.
Okay.
Because this one has been pretty often that it's been a ridiculous E3 rumor.
A new Zelda game. A new F-Zero.
A release date for The Last Guardian.
If we're talking about ridiculous like general rumors, yeah, that's always been one. Did I say? I think I have it on record that The Last Guardian is not happening anymore. And I'd like to continue that, as well as say that I have another prediction: Mortal Kombat X for 360 and PS3 is canceled. Go cancel your pre-orders, people. I don't think it's happening.
Ooh, I like it.
And I work for a game store, and we recently had to call up a lot of the people that had pre-ordered. Which, by the way, we had more people pre-order it for 360 and PS3 than for the new gen of consoles, which is crazy to me.
How?
But the company called us on like a week before the game came out, or was supposed to come out, and they're like, "Yeah, not happening."
Not happening
right now. Well, they didn't say not happening. They said we're moving it back, and they didn't give us a date. They said winter 2015.
How
winter
bad is it
2015
gonna be when it
for a
comes
game. It's gonna be like Watch Dogs on Wii U if it happens. Like nobody's gonna care. It's just gonna be so watered down and bad that it's like a waste. Like I just don't understand. It's just made money. I mean, maybe they're having trouble optimizing it or something, but And the worst part is like I don't think we're even going to hear any news on this until it's like late fall, and it's like, yeah, by the way, it's not happening anymore.
Oh
So
man.
I don't care about Mortal Kombat at all, and the new game is like whatever to me. I know a lot of people are excited for it, not me, but this is another example of just the gaming industry being kind of deceptive, and I don't like it. Don't like that at all. You sound like you're really personally hurt by this.
I am.
How you doing?
I'm just thinking of the ridiculousness of everything with this
So that's-
generation. But you know,
that's my other
we go into
prediction.
that way too often.
Yeah. Well, that's last generation. That's on a last generation console. It's just the game developers seem to have adopted this mentality that the gaming public are idiots or sheep that will do anything, and maybe that's true. I don't know. I'm done with falling for tricks. I'm not excited for Star Wars Battlefront because it's Battlefield, but with Star Wars, but more limited.
And that's exactly what it's going to be.
And I wasn't amused by the decision
with
to not release
$60 DLC pack or something like that.
Yeah, and I wasn't amused to see Splatoon not launch with everything. It's like I'd rather have seen it delayed. And I was happy that Nintendo was like, we're gonna work on Zelda U as long as it takes, because it's like it doesn't really
are you
doesn't really
saying
happen
that
anymore.
you are unhappy with the Mario Kart 8 200cc DLC?
I might come across as sounding like a major hypocrite, but no. But
I had to ask.
that's only because I feel like that was something that they kind of just thought of later. It does, like the way
This
they
is actually
announced
sort
it.
of true, just because there's a lot of like broken things that are happening because of 200cc.
Yeah, like it didn't really feel like it was a complete idea, and it was kind of, honestly, it's kind of a dumb idea too. So like I don't really care that they didn't include it in the main game.
Have you played with it at all?
It's a disaster, honestly. It's not like it's not like it's boring, but I just don't see why I would want to play it. It's just too fast.
I enjoy
And-
it
and
just
people
because
are like,
you
it
have
takes-
to use the brake.
And like,
it's
people
like,
like it takes
finally.
you have to use the brake, and I don't know. I'm just not interested in playing Mario Kart that way. It's not for me. I'm not an F-Zero guy. You know, I don't love the strategic placement you have to, you know, make the curves. I just want to play Mario Kart. I just want to race my friends and throw things at them, and that's really all I want and desire out of that game. So I don't need a 200cc to make me happy, you know.
All right. So
As for the other DLC in Mario Kart 8, I don't know if I've talked about this in the past. I may have, but I have no problem with that either, because it's an unbelievable value. It's a really good value.
it is. It's an incredible value.
So I mean, and it's not like I didn't feel like the game was incomplete when it came out. It felt a little small, but not so small that it was like offensive to me. Not like Splatoon, which is offensively small at this point, even though I love it. That's all I have to say. The end.
The end. So, last thing, and we're just going to touch on this briefly.
I can't believe we're gonna wrap this before like 45 minutes.
I know, it's pretty exciting, isn't it?
This is quite a moment.
So-
Everybody who wanted shorter shows, you got your frickin' wish. Now stop complaining.
So you and I have been working on a list the last week.
Ooh, teaser. Yeah.
And what list is that?
This is, I actually teased this earlier in the episode, a little foreshadowing. Go back and hear it. We are trying to create a bucket list of games for gamers. Maybe people who have never played games before, but games that we basically think that everyone needs to experience.
So, should we ask our audience how long this list should be, or
I kind of want their input. I want to know like what games they think have to be played. Maybe it'll help jog my memory a little bit, because I was really terrible at this exercise. If you remember, I couldn't come up with anything.
And I'm trying to do it, and all I'm doing is coming up with the most popular games instead
Well, I
of
mean,
like
they're most popular for a reason, right? It's not just like I don't know.
yeah, but do you really have to play the most popular games, or do you want to play the most variety?
That's true. Because I put Mario Kart, little teaser, I put Mario Kart 8 on the list. I don't know if you have to play it. I feel like you have to play a Mario Kart game because it's so different than any other karting game out there. And it was first. It was before Crash Bandicoot Tag Team Racing and Eminem's Beach Kart Racing and all these other character kart games. But do you have to play Mario Kart 8? It's the best one. But I don't know.
I mean, people argue for Diddy Kong Racing instead.
I love that game. I don't know if it's overrated at this point.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry, Rare.
Sorry, Rare. My bad, Rare.
Not the biggest.
Hey,
fan
we
of
have a
your
lot. We have a
games.
lot of your games on this list, Rare. So shut up. Stop complaining. Like they're listening.
But yeah, if you have any ideas, how many games we should include, any ideas of what games you would put on your bucket list.
Yeah, we split this up into like a bunch of different genres. We're doing it by genre. So like if you have an FPS or like a platformer or strategy game or something like that. We also
I think
have
we're going to have an awful lot of other genres.
We also have JRPGs and Western RPGs. So
Yes.
we have 2 different categories for that.
I'm really curious how this is going to turn out.
Spiegel stamp of approval.
Yes. All right, so this is Effortless.
I give this show my stamp of approval.
If you have any ideas, shoot them towards us. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe.
Tell your
Anything
friends.
else, follow.
Tell your friends. I don't care. You're already subscribed if you're watching this garbage.
Yeah.
Tell your friends.
Share on your Facebook wall. Do we really
Run
want
naked down the street with it painted on your body.
that? Ooh, I like that option.
Yeah, if you're a female listener, you can do that.
Change your character names, your me character names in Splatoon to the ZBNet.
I did that for my street passes. So like when I walk by someone with my 3DS, I change it to the ZB network, or I change it to the ZBN podcast, because that's the most common Googled, or not Googled, but YouTube searched term for our channel. So that's what I changed it to.
Excellent.
So I don't know. I try to find little things I can do. Like I'm a co-host on the Groovecast on Groovy, and I drop our channel occasionally in the shows. So go check that out if you like hearing me talk for some reason.
But not me.
Well,
if you want to cut Piddle out,
Piddle,
and just
I
listen to
swear
Spiegel.
I'm gonna get you on this show. It's gonna be unbearable for my host, because she only plays indie PC games.
You know, that actually might be good. I might be able to bridge the gap.
Maybe. We are running out of stuff to talk about, and we're only 2 episodes in, so we'll see how it goes.
We'll have a lot more. All right. So this is Piddle. You are.
Oh, follow Spiegelwee on Twitter @Spiegelwee.
Perfect.
I forgot to mention that.
All right. Thanks,
Very important
everybody.
that
Listen
you follow
again,
me.
and tell us what you think of Spiegel's musical choices for the week. And good night.
You're about to hear it in a second.
When you're standing on a corner flag and all the girls you see that do like I say and let those ladies be, you know that's wrong. No, man, you know that's wrong. I just try to tell you that's how you got killed before.